Alright, so my name is Gamma, and today I'm going to go over 3 reasons why college is harder than high school. The big reason I'm going over it is because these are the 3 core reasons that I initially dropped out of college for, and kind of led to me joining the Army for the past 5 years. So I kind of want to go over them, so if you're thinking about going to college, you can try to avoid some of the pitfalls that I ended up in. So, reason number 1, self-discipline versus self-motivation, and understanding the difference. So normally at the start of a semester, you're going to be all fired to knock out your classes and the homework associated with said classes. This is good. This is going to put you into a cycle where you're basically going to start setting up your routine for the semester. I'd say about a month and a half into the semester, you're going to start to kind of run dry on that train of self motivation to get those courses done. And this is kind of where self discipline starts to roll in. So you're going to go, oh, I really don't want to get these courses done. I'm just not feeling it this semester. But what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to buckle down and start setting aside time to just go, okay, I need to knock these out. These are coming up. I have to get them done. So what you're going to end up doing is taking time, setting up a schedule. You may find that a paper planner is what I got in high school back in 2015. I don't know if they still use them. I am assuming they still do. But it can be a great tool if you're running into an issue where you're just finding it difficult to plan out a week, or you have a lot of assignments coming up and you're really having a difficult time trying to figure out exactly when you're going to set aside time or exactly what you're going to get done for the day. Getting a paper planner and just jotting down exactly what you need to do for the week, what days you plan on doing it, so that way you can at least get those done. Another big thing that plays into the self-discipline versus self-motivation is there's no one there to say, hey, you need to get these done. Hey, I'm going to punish you if you don't get these done. I'm going to take away your phone. I'm going to take away your car privileges. I'm going to take away your Xbox, whatever. There's no one there to say, hey, if you don't do this, there are consequences. And the instructors are going to be the same way. The only consequence you're going to directly, that have little, the only real consequence you have is your grade. So you're essentially going to have to be self-disciplined enough to say, hey, that is a big enough issue to where I need to go, hey, I need to buckle down and get this knocked out. So that's another one of the big parts playing into self-discipline versus self-motivation. I definitely ran into it in my first semester at college. I would say all the way through the first semester, it was pretty much trying to knock everything out. It was relatively difficult. My major was astronomy, so I had an English course, I had a math course, and the college also forced me to take an additional. It's basically like a resiliency course. It was not great. I did not enjoy it, but I think it was mainly because I lacked the self discipline in order to knock them out that I didn't do as well as I could have for that semester, and then the following semester I just did not do well at all. So that kind of played into it. Reason number 2, you will make mistakes, but the biggest thing you have to do is not let them grind you down. So let's say you have a homework assignment and you just don't get it at all. You're having trouble with it, you don't understand the core concepts, you're just doing your best you can at it. You get it done, you submit it, you know it's not going to be the best grade for it, you're worried about it. The best thing you can do in that situation is not to focus on it. The best thing you can do is go, okay, I know I had some issues with this assignment. I'm going to go ahead, start planning out for the next week for the next assignment, do the best I can on that assignment, and just keep going. Because if you let these things focus on you, they'll start eating away at you. And that'll affect you, and your stress levels will just keep going up. It's good to have a bit of stress, but too much stress can really affect you when you're trying to get courses done like this, especially when you're on a full-time schedule. So some courses are going to be super easy, some courses are going to be difficult, and sometimes you're just going to run into an issue where it's just like, I don't get it. Crap. And you're just going to have to keep going. Um, it's just genuinely, it's best just to keep focusing on pushing forward. Um, and this kind of rolls into reason number 2, but it is reason number 3. And reason number 3 is you need to reach out for help in the beginning. Generally, you need to reach out for help, period, from an instructor. You will have courses where you don't understand something, or you'll have courses in the beginning where you don't understand something. And the best thing you can do in that situation is reach out to the instructor and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can we set aside a time for maybe an hour where we can just go over this again real quick? Or can you send me some additional material to cover so that way I can get a better understanding of the material that you want me to understand? There's a massive amount of this being an issue. There are some other things that are an issue. Most of them tie into self-discipline, self-motivation, and setting aside time. So that's another one of the big ones. Is you just really need to reach out to the instructor, because reaching out to the instructor can be the difference between getting a B or you getting a C, or you just passing the class in general. Let's say you have a lack of understanding on a course concept for something like Python programming. You go to the first class, you don't understand anything, which is expected, especially on an introduction for a programming course like that, and you're just having a bunch of trouble. Your programs aren't running, your syntax is all out of whack. What you really should do is go to the professor, just ask him, hey, what can I do to improve my ability to do this? And a lot of what he's going to probably say comes down to, okay, well, you need to remember that, hey, there's space. The syntax for fours is tabs instead of squiggly brackets. So that's something you'd have to keep in mind. Make sure your tabbing's correct. Make sure you're using the quotation marks in the correct locations. Make sure you don't overquotate for certain syntax highlighting. Strings, the difference between strings, writing a string, and writing an integer versus writing a boolean, stuff like that, understanding the difference between those, and really memorizing those core concepts rather than memorizing, oh, the range function does this, or oh, this is how you write a for loop. Because a lot of that stuff is relatively easy just to look up, and most instructors in a programming course are going to allow you access to something like that. But this is genuinely just an example. There are other courses like anatomy where it's going to be a bunch of memorization, and the teacher is going to give you tips on learning how to better memorize the parts of the hand or the parts of the foot. So that way, when it comes to the test, you have a better understanding of how to remember what bone is what, or what ligament goes to what, or whatever they do in anatomy, because I have not taken anatomy. I probably will never take anatomy personally. Other than that, yeah, those are just the core 3 reasons to watch out for. Other than that, I really hope that you guys find the college that you're looking for. Yeah. Have a good one.